Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 1 of Revell's Colonial Viper Mark II. Okay folks, so Revell's Colonial Viper Mark II, and I've had a few ideas for this. I was thinking of different paint schemes, different ways of doing stuff, and then I stumbled across, I shall, if I remember, put a picture here of Starbucks Viper crashed in a swamp from the original Battlestar Galactica TV series. So we are going to attempt to do this. So first off, we're going to take all the parts and we're going to build as many sub-assemblies as we can. Now there's nothing overly complicated with this kit, so I'm going to go ahead, put what I can together, build up the cockpit, etc, etc, and I shall be right back. Okay folks, so we are just putting in the panels for the where the landing gear should be, and I'm finding that when you put these panels in, let me zoom you in a little bit because that is whiting out quite a lot. We're getting some quite large gaps, so what I've been doing is I've been gluing them into place and then I've been going over them on the back with some sprue goo. So we are literally taking our sprue goo and we're just filling in the gaps. Now this sprue goo is thick enough that it's not actually dripping through where the gaps are, and it is literally just sealing the holes. Now once it's dry it'll look a lot better, and obviously it's a different colour, so once these are dry and we've got paint over the top of it, there won't be a gap, it'll just look like it's plastic. So I just thought I'd stop and show you that. So all we're doing, I'll show you with this one, all we're doing is taking our glue, dab of glue on it just to hold it in place, like so. Quick push down and you can see the gaps from this side. So if I flip that over and we compare that one to that one, you can see the sprue goo in there. It's not come through far enough that it's actually filling that gap. So push it down, make sure it's in place, and just get our sprue goo. Screw the lid on that first before we knock it all over the place. And we're just going over the top of that gap and filling it in like so. And do that with all of these gaps. Just like that. Now usually if you're using sprue goo to fill a gap that's going to be visible, it takes 2 or 3 days to harden properly that you can get in there and sand it, but this is on the inside, so 24 hours we'll be able to use this without any fear of this popping out and getting damaged or anything like that. So little tip there to fill those gaps in without filling it from this side. Just use sprue goo on the other side. So on with the next part. Okay folks, so we have come to our first clear part. I'm a bit confused why they've done a clear part, because this part goes into the back of this, which is the main console in the cockpit, and it sits in there like so, and then over the top of that goes that decal, which is odd because that that decal covers the whole console. So very strange. They've made it a clear part, but they have. So I'll just point that out. That part there, which is this bit, it doesn't state here that it's a clear part in the book, but it is. So it took me a few moments to find it. So I'm just pointing that out. The first clear part is in the main console in the cockpit. So I'm literally just going to glue this in place, because we don't need to worry about it frosting up or anything like that, because that decal isn't see-through or anything. So there we go. The dashboard is made. Okay folks, that is the cockpit completed. There are these side panels to go on. If I can actually pick it up, there are these side panels to go on that go in there and sit like a shroud, but if we put those on and we can't get it back off, we're not going to be able to get all the decals and everything, so they shall be painted as individual parts. So there's one for each side. So that is the next sub-assembly finished. We've also taken half of this off so we could test fit and things like that to see how it looks once it's sitting in place. So not too bad a little cockpit. Obviously we'll have those panels in there as well, covering that big huge gap up. So there we go. On to the next part. Okay folks, that is the next sub-assembly mostly done, but as you can see I am requiring quite a lot of clamps to hold these in place. I've still got, we've done the tail wing and the two main, one of the main wings, but I'm out of clamps, so I'm not going to start this one just yet. I do have more clamps, but they are currently holding the Catalina together, so I'm going to have to stop with the wings for now and move on to the next sub-assembly. So if you are going to build this, make sure you have a plenty of clamps spare. Lots of, I needed 4 just for this one. This one needed the big clamps, the big strong clamps, in order to hold it in place. So there we go, on to the next sub-assembly. Okay folks, that is all the sub-assemblies completed. We have the main hull, which is still in 2 parts and all sanded down and ready. We have, of course, the cockpit all done and ready. We have the side panels for the cockpit. We have one wing here which we haven't put the gun on, because once this goes into the diode, this gun will be laid onto the ground separately from the wing, because this wing will be separated from the main body. So we have the other wing. This one will be connected. We have the gun connected and attached. All the other parts aren't really assemblies as such, they're just the parts themselves. So we have the main engine cowlings there and ready, and of course we have the bottom section all cleaned, filled where it needed it and ready to go. And what else do we have? We have the back engine, or the main engine nozzles for the back, stripped off and clean. We have 2 small parts here. This is the back of the cockpit and this is the nose of the ship. And we've gone and we've masked up the cockpit, which of course will also be separate off the model, but we shall be using this to cover up the cockpit when we're doing all the spraying, etc. And the last bits and pieces are here. We have the top tail wing all done, sanded down and ready. We have 2 more engine covers there, and we have the main top engine there as well. So everything is now ready for primer. So we're going to get it all primed up, and we are then going to paint the cockpit, get the decals and all the rest of it on, and we can then get it inside the main body, get the canopy on, and get the main body primed as well. So I'm not sure how long this video has gone on for, but I'm going to call it there. That is the end of part 1. So part 2, when we come back, we will be all primed up and we shall be painting the cockpit. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Be good, be safe, and as always, keep making models. Ta-ta.